How's it going, everybody? Sunday, July 6th. We're going to be reacting to this Epstein thing that happened today. What a load of dog shit. I think that the Trump administration is probably cooked off of this one. We've had for the last 8 years everybody telling us that Epstein didn't kill himself and that the cameras pointed at his cell were broken and this and that and the third. Well, now all of a sudden we have video of the cell. According to the documents that they're talking about, there's no evidence of Epstein having any clients that are guilty of any criminal stuff, which is a load of crap. We know that Epstein was a known pedophile. His entire business was that of blackmailing politicians and famous people. His entire job was to put people into compromising situations so that he could use it over and hold it over their heads at a later date to get what they wanted done. There's been a lot of speculation about Epstein being a CIA asset, an asset for Mossad. We know Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was a Mossad agent, or a really, really high up foreign dignitary for Israel. So, yeah. So today, I feel like we got cooked. So hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see. We're going to listen to Benny Johnson. He sounds like he's pretty disappointed in this as well. All right, here we go.
Including footage from Jeffrey Epstein's cell the night that he was murdered, along with a full memo detailing their findings in a full-scale investigation that the government has leveraged against Jeffrey Epstein and his pederast cult. And you are not going to believe the findings. Let me set the table for you, though, right now. This channel has spent tens of thousands of hours detailing the malevolence of the deep state and the blackness of that entity. And not even we were prepared for what just happened. This has changed everything. To be able to commit murder in front of the world, to lie about it and cover it up, and then to officially get away with it, ladies and gentlemen, we are in dark times. Exclusive, DOJ, FBI conclude Epstein had no client list, committed suicide, and that Jeffrey Epstein committed no blackmail against powerful people. Wow. Donald Trump's Justice Department, FBI, have concluded that they have no evidence that convicted sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered, according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. Okay, so much to unpack there. Let's read a little bit, and then I have some counter arguments here. The administration is releasing a video, both raw and enhanced versions, that it says indicates that no one entered the area in the Manhattan prison where Epstein was held the night he died in 2019. The video supports the medical examiner's finding that Epstein committed suicide in a 2-page memo. The findings represent the first time Trump's administration has officially contradicted conspiracy theories about
Epstein's brother had them do another autopsy on Epstein. And according to what that medical examiner found, they said that the injuries sustained by Epstein were not consistent with somebody hanging themselves or committing suicide. They were consistent with somebody being strangled, like their hyoid bone was broken. So there's that too.
About Epstein's activities and deaths, theories that have been pushed by the FBI's 2 top officials before Trump appointed them to the Bureau. Social media influencers and activists Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were among those MAGA world who questioned the official version of how Epstein died. Patel and Bongino have since said Epstein committed suicide, but it became an article of faith online, especially on the right, that Epstein's crimes also implicated government officials, celebrities, and business leaders, and that some of them wanted to kill him in order to conceal their crime. The memo says that no one else was involved in the Epstein case will be charged. Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell is serving 20 years for child sex trafficking and related offenses. I'm reading this and I can't believe what I'm reading. I can't believe what I'm reading. May 21st, 2023, this 2-year-old article details how Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed Bill Gates using a very young Russian bridge player who he set Bill Gates up with, report says. Jeffrey Epstein threatened to expose the affair between Bill Gates and Russian woman after pushing Microsoft co-founder to participate in a multi-billion-dollar charitable fund. Oh, well, that sounds like blackmail to me. The entire article, you can see that Gates didn't want to donate to something that some con that Jeffrey Epstein was running. And as soon as Jeffrey Epstein didn't get what he wanted, he immediately used information about Bill Gates having an affair with a Russian bridge player in her 20s to blackmail him. Yet the federal government says there's no evidence of any blackmail against powerful people. But this is the evidence. It makes absolutely no sense. Meanwhile, just a few weeks ago, Pam Bondi was out saying there's so much evidence, actually, of child predation that it's taken us months to go through it all.
They're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement, but I'll call him later and find out.
Martin seems to be facing a very
So this was Pam Bondi responding to our report, James Comer, on our show, saying that the federal government had nothing. And that's all been covered up. And Pam was effusive that they do have something, in fact. And so was Kash Patel, for that matter. Kash Patel promising the Senate that he's going to release absolutely everything in the Jeffrey Epstein file, including CSAM, which is child predation material that he says that they have an enormous amount of.
Mike, before I die, Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that.
That's Kash Patel right there. I told you that's somebody that I had a lot of respect for and that I trusted. I don't know if he can be trusted anymore. A year ago, he went on Sean Ryan's show talking about how Epstein didn't kill himself and how they're going to release the Epstein files. Just even up to a couple of months ago, they were saying how they had all this evidence and Biden's FBI was hiding documents, and they went in and they raided the FBI office in New York, and they had all the files and blah, 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 blah. Now, the other thing about this is the person that was prosecuting Epstein is the former head of the FBI's daughter. And that's James Comey's daughter. I can't remember her name. I think it's like Miley or something like that. Anyways, she is the one that's prosecuting these cases. She's prosecuting Diddy too, I think. And so they have a lot to hide because Comey worked for the Clintons. So this all ties back. Everything circles back around to this big time corruption in the Democrat Party. Now it seems like that may be extending over to our party. So we'll see. We'll keep going.
Protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So let's go ahead and read this memo and see if that squares with what we just heard from Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Okay, here we go. I would read this on the FBI website, but it's entirely crashed right now. FBI. As part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation have conducted an exhaustive review and investigative holdings related to Jeffrey Epstein. To ensure the review was thorough, the FBI conducted digital searches of his databases, hard drives, and network drives, as well as physical searches of squad areas, locked cabinets, desks, closets, and other areas of responsive material that had been stored. These searches uncovered a significant amount of material, including more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence. The files relating to Epstein include a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are either minors or appear to be minors, and 10,000 downloaded videos and images of illegal child abuse material and other pornography. The teams and agents, the analysts and attorneys, and privacy and civil liberties experts comb through these digital documentary evidence with the aim of providing as much information as possible to the public while simultaneously protecting the victims. Much of the material is subject to court order sealing. Only a fraction of this material would have been aired publicly had Epstein gone to trial. And the seal served only to protect the victims and did not expose any additional third parties the allegations of illegal wrongdoing. Through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of CP. This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was no credible evidence found that Epstein was blackmailing prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. So this is now exonerating everybody who is a friend with Epstein. Consistent with prior disclosures, this review confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Sorry about that. Harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to these victims intertwined throughout the materials, including specific details and victim names, likenesses, descriptions, places of birth, associate, and employment histories. One of our highest priorities in combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims perpetrating unfounded theories, and Epstein serves neither of those ends. To that end, we have labored to provide the public with the maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession and determined the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation no further disclosure will be appropriate or warranted. Whew. Goodness gracious. The conclusion that Epstein died by suicide, further supported by video footage from the common area of the special housing unit where Epstein was housed at the time of his death. The DOJ Inspector General explained in 2023, anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located, the common area would have been captured in this footage. The FBI's independent review of the footage confirmed the time that Epstein was locked in his cell until 6:30 the next morning when they entered his cell and found him clinging to life, dead. During this review, the FBI enhanced the relevant footage by increasing its contrast, balancing the color, and improving the sharpness for greater clarity. Here are the files. Those files, of course, are completely crashed, but this is what it looks like. The DOJ has released 11 hours of straight footage outside of Epstein's cell as evidence that he committed suicide. So this is not a cell necessarily. This is the tier block outside of the prison.
Okay. You see this, right? That cell, they told us that the cameras were broken and that didn't exist. Where'd that come from? If those cameras were broken, where did that shit come from? Yeah. A bunch of fucking liars.
Outside of the tier block, inside of the prison, right? Of course, this footage could be tampered with, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
Americans want transparency. The Jeffrey Epstein files should be released for the public. The DOJ on the DOJ website shows the full 11 hours of Jeffrey Epstein's death. Nobody entered the cell. It was locked from the inside that night. There you go.
A cell door doesn't lock from the inside. You don't get to come and go as you please. So what the fuck are they talking about? It wasn't locked from the inside. It's locked from the outside, remotely.
No client lists, no blackmail. But of course, yeah, that's right. So Epstein just sex trafficked kids to no one, right? Least shocking thing ever, the DOJ and FBI say Epstein wasn't murdered and that Epstein didn't keep a client list. The FBI and DOJ says there is no Epstein client list. He didn't blackmail anybody, and they're not charging anyone else. Everyone's saying it's very strange. There's not a single soul who believes this. No one believes that he trafficked children to absolutely no one, right? Yeah. So guys, the Epstein client list is like just never existed. Hope you're hungry for nothing. This is the video. Again, I showed you the website, but it's crashing.
It's 12 hours long.
This is it.
You're gonna sit there and watch
A lot of thoughts on this, and I suppose I'll share them in the morning in a different video, but this is a cover-up. It's a cover-up.
I want you to listen to what Benny's saying, because Benny is super diehard conservative Trump guy. He's friends with Donald Trump. He's friends with Kash Patel, all these, and he's super upset. You can tell. You can tell by looking at Benny that he's a happy guy. He's always super positive. He's always pro-winning. You know what I mean? And look at him. He's just distraught today.
There's so much information. There's so much evidence. It wasn't just Epstein. It's obvious it wasn't just Epstein. There are victim statements. There's legitimate reporting out there. There's everything. There's the article that I showed you, which is just one small example of Bill Gates getting blackmailed by Epstein with like sex with a very young person. That's what that was. It's been written up in Wall Street Journal, Forbes. It led to the destruction of Bill Gates' marriage. You're telling me that never happened? Well, Melinda Gates says it happened. So does Bill Gates. And then Bill Gates giggles on camera and says, you got to be careful, when he asked about like the death of Jeffrey Epstein. You're telling me that the government can't scrub information and destroy evidence? We weren't born yesterday. But this is going to be now the official line. This is it. This is going to be the official line. Just like the drones over New Jersey, right? Remember how they...
Hello? Okay.
disappeared?
Huh?
Hello?
Hurry up. We're recording still. I'll talk to the audience for a little while. Our non-existent audience. So we all know that this is a giant cover-up and a whole bunch of bullshit. Benny, our heart goes out to you, man. We know you want this to not be true. And we still love you. But I'm starting to see that maybe Trump and this administration isn't all it's cracked up to be. I'm not saying that I'm not MAGA. I'm absolutely MAGA, but I don't care who's making America great again as long as it's being made great again. Don't get me wrong. I still think the left is completely ludicrous and crazy, but the way that this is shaken out, it just seems like more of the same bullshit that we've seen time and time again throughout the generations. It seems like generation after generation, administration after administration, it's all the same bullshit. They serve the same, they save the same servients. Well, we'll see how it goes. Alright, let's finish up this video.
How powerful is Jeffrey Epstein? One final thought on this. Alex Acosta, he worked in the first Trump administration, and he was asked, like, why didn't you prosecute Epstein? You knew he was a predator. And he said, he belonged to Intel. I was told he belongs to Intel. I'm not allowed to prosecute him. There are FBI memos about Jeffrey Epstein. Where did those go? Like him being like an informant. Where's all that evidence? This is a cover-up for the cover-up. It's crazy, man. I don't really know who to blame, but I'm incredibly disappointed. So you have tens of thousands and thousands and thousands of images of just Jeffrey Epstein. Really? Really?
Sounds like Epstein was a
And no other names. Nothing. All those thousands of visits to the islands, all those thousands of plane trips, packed planes, packed with celebrities and politicians, with billionaires and bankers, all of them flying to Little St. James, all of them flying in day and night. We have the flight logs. The flight logs are like a binder deep. And nothing? No one else did anything? Thousands of victims? Thousands of victims, it says there, but nobody else is guilty? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. But that's what we're getting. All right. Okay. And this video. All right. We'll see what happens in the morning. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe for the truth. We'll keep going.
So there's one aspect of this that hasn't been discussed yet. He hasn't discussed it. Nobody has. Netanyahu's going to be here tomorrow. That's the Prime Minister of Israel. Okay, that's who Epstein served. Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. That's who he served, or who she served. Okay, so this could all be because of Netanyahu coming here. This could be some peace deal between Iran and Israel, where Netanyahu's saying, well, look, we can't have this information getting out. We can't have these people getting prosecuted. So we need you to cover this up, and we'll stop fighting with Iran. That could be one aspect of this. But even if that is an aspect of this, I don't agree with that. These people are pedophiles, and they're sick, and they need to be held to account. Jeffrey Epstein is a world-renowned pedophile. They just said they have tens of thousands of pictures and tens of thousands of videos of Epstein and other clients in compromising situations, and here we are. And now they're saying there's nothing. There's no evidence. It's a lie. It's a 100% lie. One other thing I want to do before we sign off of here is I want us to say a prayer for all the people in Texas that are missing or deceased. Our hearts go out to the families of everybody affected by this. We hope all your loved ones come or return safe. And for the ones that didn't, we're so sorry to hear it. Michelle will lead in a prayer for those people. All right, take it away.
God, I pray for the whole world. I pray for everyone that's on here and people that are not on here. I pray for Texas becoming whole in one protected place. In God's name, in Jesus' name, I pray, amen.
All right, you guys, everybody that sees this, have a great one, and hopefully we come with some good news tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.